very, very special week because I am thrilled to be here in Georgia at the SEFCA headquarters, joined as always with my good friend Scott. Scott, how are you doing this week?
Hi, Kayleen. I am doing great, and it's so good to be in person. This is just, and we're in our brand new office here in Atlanta.
Yes.
So I am just so happy to be in person, and it's as we were talking earlier, it's a little bit of a transition, right? It was a transition into virtual. Yep. Now we're kind of transitioning back into in person. So this is fun.
It is, and it's a pleasure too to be able to share with all of our fans out there and viewers, because this is a monumentous occasion. You know, we haven't been on the road a lot, but your new building and headquarters here is gorgeous. Scott, it's beautiful. How long have you been in this building now?
Well, we're not officially in it. I mean, actually, this is our first official event in our new headquarters. I was telling you earlier, we just got our furniture about 2 weeks ago. So we're still, you know, finalizing furniture. There's a guy out there putting a few more bolts on our furniture, and we're bringing in artwork. And so we're not even officially in the space, but I'm so happy to be here with you today, and so happy that you're in Georgia.
No, thank you. It's a pleasure and a half. And, you know, I always complain, like, as soon as I can figure out how to deal with the humidity, I'll be there. But so Mother Nature's playing along for us. You know, normally I geek out about a tool or something interesting before we get started, but I want to geek out about this amazing banner that we have. It is spectacular. I'm so impressed. You know, being able to celebrate the construction industry and talk about lunch. And this week, I'm really excited because today is National HVAC Technician Day. I know you had that in your calendar as well. But I'm excited to talk to two recruiters and also talk about the industry. So that's kind of my geek out. It's, oh, we're here live. That's all that matters. We're here in person.
Well, and one thing I want to say, I talk all the time about how vast our industry is, right? Most people, when they think of construction, they think of hammers and nails and maybe digging ditches, but it's a vast industry with all different kinds of trades. And today's a great example, right? We have an expert from the heating and air conditioning industry or mechanical industry, and then we have a highway contracting expert. So those are two areas of construction that most people don't think about, right? But every good building has heating and air conditioning and plumbing. And where would we be without highways and airports and roads and bridges?
Exactly. You know, we use these things all the time. We kind of take it for granted, but then a lot of people do think it's all hands on the ground. And to be able to talk to two professionals who have been successful in the industry and maybe not so much on the job site with tools in hand, they are being successful in the industry with all the auxiliary aspects to it. I mean, have we even come up with yet how many jobs are there in the construction industry?
No, we need to quantify that. And so there's obviously a large quantity, but the other thing I'll mention about these two companies are these are two of the best companies in the United States, and they're based right here in Georgia, C.W. Matthews and Mckenney's. They're actually both on the SEFCA board of directors. So they are very visionary companies. They're very focused on taking care of their field level employees. So they're really perfect guests for our program today.
Beyond perfect too, because I've actually spoken to some folks, excuse me, who provide employees for both Mckenney and C.W. Matthews, as does SEFCA. And they love their employees so much that they actually want to find a great job that fits the skills that come in too. And so, you know, for a lot of people who are transitioning out of another career, maybe into construction, it's something to take in mind. And so I hope that they take advantage of the information from both C.W. Matthews and Mckenney, because let's get jobs.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I'm excited. They're a great group.
I am so excited too. And so, Scott, thank you so much for being live today. It's the best. And so for all of our fans too, I just have to share, we are actually going to be eating lunch after this with real forks and stuff, and so I'm sure we're going to be showing some pictures. So Scott, thank you again for joining us. And so next I'm going to bringing in Jeremy Matthews with C.W. Matthews. No, Jeremy Whitaker from C.W. Matthews. Oh, see, I'm live, Jeremy.
I'm
just too nervous.
It's all good.
So thank you so much for joining us today. You were a guest when we started the show, so it's nice to have you back again. Just to give a refresher for our viewers, can you please tell us a little bit about C.W. Matthews and what do you do there?
Okay. Well, C.W. Matthews is one of the largest heavy highway construction companies in the country, and we have about 1,400 employees. We build roads, bridges, interstates, airport runways all over the state and now into the southeast a little bit. So
I love it. Well, we were talking about, you know, different types of construction. You're like, come into horizontal construction. And at first, I thought that was SIPS panels. Tell me, I just love that term so much.
Yeah.
All roads.
Yeah, it's all straight and steady. So so basically, one of the things that we've got to do in our industry is define these two separate paths: the vertical construction path and the horizontal construction path. And so that's what we're trying to do at C.W. Matthews, is get get that message out that there is a career path, a strong career path in horizontal construction.
Beyond a strong career path, and especially for folks who aren't fond of heights, perhaps, maybe the bridges are a bit tough. But so you actually came into C.W. Matthews, though, but with a background in education. What were you a teacher for before?
Yeah, so I was a high school construction teacher prior to coming to C.W. Matthews. Yeah.
Wow, that's a tremendous amount of experience then you bring into the recruitment side, because since you were in high school, what are some challenges that you found over the years as far as getting people interested in this field? I mean, where are we stuck?
Yeah, so I think it's knowledge. Knowledge is power. When we don't have the knowledge about opportunities for career paths, we don't have the power to make the best decision for our future. And that's the way it is with students, because our number one priority in recruitment at C.W. Matthews is high school students, and getting that message out and giving them that knowledge that this is career in construction is no longer plan B, it's the new plan A.
It should be. It should be plan A and plan B and plan C, because really you can go into the field starting anywhere. And really, if I had known about horizontal construction, that really appeals to my brain. I love the tools, and watching this, I would have gone into that. So you can start kind of anywhere. We know this, though. How are you getting through to the parents to let them know that they are not setting their child up for failure if they encourage construction as that plan A?
Yeah. So we're making resources online with our YouTube channel, all sorts of videos that we can kind of take the mystery out of construction, because a lot of parents don't want to send their kids into construction because they don't really know much about it. They don't know that, just like as if you go to college, you go and you take these classes and you get to this certain spot by this certain time. It's a defined path. So our goal at C.W. Matthews is to define that path. And as we present that to students, and then they can take that to parents, then that's taking that mystery out of it, and there's a lucrative career at the end of it.
I love that, because we do such a good job on it. Is you graduate, you go to college or university, and then you get a great job and career. And so really breaking it down. So, okay, let's pretend I'm a high school student. Hi, I just graduated. What does my first year look like, even pay-wise or hours? Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so basically, everyone starts off as an entry laborer, from the ground up. And you're not going to start off as the CEO. You're not going to start off as the president. Sorry. Burst some bubbles here. But that's how industry works. But you start from the ground, and there is, in a family-owned, Christian-owned company as we are, we don't really have, like, you have to be, in this role for 2 years, 3 years, whatever. It's like whenever you're ready, whenever you've got the skills to pay the bills, then you can move up to the next level. Our guys start off around $15 an hour with no experience.
Wow.
And then they start off as labor and learning how to operate heavy equipment. And we train our guys and gals, ladies, and so from the ground up, Matthews way.
I love it too. That's something we really need to talk about and reinforce, that starting off in that labor position or entry level is not a diss. It's not a slight. It's because this industry is so complicated and technical. You need that time as an entry level to get accustomed to the dynamics of a job site, sarcasm on a job site. They don't really teach that in construction management schools, I've learned, but the nuances really come along. And so I love how you're embracing that. Okay, last time we talked, you were talking about being creative on getting folks in, and there was an internship with C.W. Matthews. How is that going?
It's going great. We actually have 2 internship programs. One's work-based learning. That's during the school year, where a student can go to school half the day and come to work for us half the day. And as we speak right now, we have our summer internship program going with about 15 summer interns all over the state of Georgia. And just getting a glimpse of what a full-time career in construction is like, getting 40, 50, 60 hours a week and that nice paycheck, you know, and so that's really our goal, is to take students between their juniors and senior years, get them in the summer internship, get them into work-based learning their senior year, and then we put them on the career signing day and we sign them, and then we celebrate them. Yeah, you rock, and they know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And I hope that this becomes a model, not just for C.W. Matthews, but for the construction industry as a whole.
I love it, because that is so valuable. You know, I even meet students who went to medical school and never saw a cadaver until their junior year and realized, like, oh, I don't like dead people.
Yeah.
Well, now you're in, you know, you're 3 years into med school and you just find this out. And so now, to be a high school student, to find out if you like this, see all the other opportunities, and make money. Are there benefits offered too?
Once they graduate, out, they get the full benefits. But during the internship, there's no benefits there, but they're getting some sweet Benjamins.
That's amazing too, because you know, you think of all the first jobs we might have had in high school, and so now these students have the opportunity to make some pretty good money. Yeah. And something, a side note for our fans and viewers, the difference between commercial and residential construction can be vast, and something that's wonderful about both companies we're interviewing today is they do eventually offer benefits. And so it's great that we can actually continue and really entice people to join this industry. And so, Jeremy, this is amazing. Real quick, before we bring in our other guest, can you please give your website information for where students can find out about the amazing internships and all the other information?
Yes, it's cwmatthews.com. That's Matthews with 2 T's. And you can find us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and go to employment opportunities on the website, and it has all different opportunities all over the state of Georgia and Tennessee right now.
I love it. And so you are a recruitment manager too. If people had any questions and they wanted to follow up with you, can they reach out to you as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Whitaker at cwmatthews.com is my email. Yep.
Oh, now your email is going to be like
It's all
crashed.
out there.
I'm beyond all belief. So thank you so much for joining me. And I'd like to bring in our other guest. How are you doing today, Daron?
I am doing wonderful, Kayleen. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So joined by Daron Allen with Mckenney's, and you're also a recruitment manager. But before we get started, since we are celebrating National HVAC Technician Day, it's very exciting. Can you tell me a little bit about what Mckenney's does?
Yeah, as a mechanical contractor, family owned, we've been around over 70 years. Headquarters is here in Atlanta, but also a large presence in the Charlotte, North Carolina market as well. We do commercial, so a lot of office buildings, hotels, hospitals, stadiums, places like the Georgia Aquarium will essentially design, build, install, and troubleshoot all of the mechanical systems.
That is incredible. And mechanical too, it covers a broad amount of stuff. Mechanical is not just like the maybe computers in the office. You know, tell me a little bit more about what mechanical encompasses.
Plumbing, pipe fitting, sheet metal, HVAC, of course. So those are the main kind of bread and butter that our field and craft workers will handle those areas.
I love it, because really you can come into Mckenney's and then find all these different career opportunities. You know, I want to be a welder someday, but might not like heights. So there's pipe fitting or other opportunities.
Absolutely. We've got a pipe and plumbing shop on site at our office as well. So
what? That's really exciting. So you actually kind of came across SEFCA through a parent seminar. Can you tell me a little bit about this?
Yeah, so my familiarity with SEFCA, actually within Mckenney's, one of the board of director chair members, David Zeminatis, is somebody that I work closely with and get to see him kind of over the field operations team. He's somebody who started right after high school, got into the sheet metal apprenticeship program through Local 85, and over 20 years later, he's over that entire division. So that's a tremendous example of what a career in the trades can be, and it doesn't have to be limited to just boots on the ground with your hard hat. It can transition into project management, virtual construction, logistics, you name it.
I love it too, and really highlighting this story arc too. You know, I love my boots on the ground because I like being dirty and gross and in it. But someday my body's going to break down and I want to retire. And so showing parents too that your child can come in as a laborer and then eventually maybe own the company, or be a project manager where you're still using your brain, but maybe you get to rest your wrists a bit, you know. 'Cause it is exhausting. I'm so blown away because I'm really impressed that both companies have partnered so strongly with SEFCA too to really help people get employed. Can you talk about what are you looking for in a future employee? Employee. So as a recruitment field manager, what are you looking for?
It really just starts with drive. I think having a long-term outlook and understanding that you might start as a construction helper, but you can have a career path to lay back on after you go through the apprenticeship program, ultimately get your journeyman license, and that's something that'll be with you forever from that point. So
forever, and you can take that license anywhere, you know, and really highlighting that journeyman is a classification, not a gender specification. Like you're a journeyman, right. You're a foreman, you know, it's a title. Jeremy, real quick, I want you to bounce on that. What skills do you look for as far as recruitment? Because the drive, you're right, you cannot fake the drive. And so what are you looking for?
The secret sauce for us is not necessarily a college degree. It is three things. Attitude, you gotta have a great attitude. You gotta have a great work ethic, and you gotta have a teachable spirit. If you have those three things, there is no limit to how far you can advance at C.W. Matthews. And in the construction industry as a whole, those are the intangibles that that are so essential to success and to growing into a leader.
Yes. Oh, I love it. So you need to be a happy, on-time sponge. Yeah. Okay.
Pretty much.
Done. Check. 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 Daron, let's talk about why do you think parents are kind of checking out this option last? Like, you know, it seems like we push something else, but tell me your thoughts on this.
I think there's so many misconceptions and negative connotations along with construction, but I know on our end, safety is something that every employee is exposed to in the very beginning. We've got a safety team, and our support staff is doing great jobs to make sure that whatever we're doing is meeting those OSHA standards and also quality. So I think if parents understood that it's not just ladders and equipment all over the place that you have to look out for, that's probably the biggest reason I think parents just have a misunderstanding of where the construction industry is and where it's going.
That's such a good point, you know, because I was on a job site a while back and they wanted me to do a fit test. And I was like, are you going to make me jog on a treadmill? Please no. And I did not understand it was to fit my respirator. And I wish more parents knew that I had to go in with the nurse and doctor that worked for that construction company to see if I was going to be safe on the job site so they properly fit it. And okay, I'm putting that in my book. Like, oh, let's talk about more things. Real quick tangent. How did you get involved with Mckenney's?
So prior to Mckenney's, I've always been in kind of the recruiting and staffing agency side of things, so whether it was manufacturing or light industrial, but I actually knew a technician that works at Mckenney's, and so when I was kind of in between jobs, he told me, yeah, they're looking for a construction recruiter. It was a newly created role. Us as a union contractor, we used to just depend solely on what the union halls could provide, but now we're taking more of a proactive approach and partnering with programs such as SEFCA, a lot of technical schools, high schools, summer helpers. That's another thing. Anyone 16 or older can get their foot in the door and essentially see what it's like on a job site with the different crafts. And this opportunity has been great.
That's amazing, because that's so amazing. Can you tell me the website that a 16-year-old can go to right now to talk about summer helper?
Yeah, our homepage, mckenneys.com. There should be an area that says we are hiring, and you'll see all of the available jobs. We've got construction helpers for plumbing, pipe fitting, and sheet metal available now.
I'm blown away. Can you imagine if we rewound back to high school and we could go into this industry early on? And I'm jealous. All right. Okay, I just want to tangent on this real quick, because you see then both union recruiting and merit or non-union. I'm really impressed with what is happening as far as the recruitment with both companies. I'm like, let's think outside the box. What do you think that non-union shops are doing really well to recruit people and entice them into this field?
I think they have a little more flexibility in terms of their training programs, whereas we're kind of working on the under the umbrella of the unions and their apprenticeship programs. I think non-union companies, they get to be a little bit more creative and hands-on, and with that, it gives them a little bit more flexibility to kind of tailor their programs and their training for the next group of students that are coming into the trades.
It's true, and I think both pathways are great. There's a fit for everyone everywhere, but it's nice that there is a little bit of flexibility because I think a lot of people too who might be coming into the industry in their 30s might be intimidated with the union route because you don't have those hours in anymore. All right, because you're both recruiters, would you please tell me a success story? Do you have any of a student who came in and now is doing something amazing?
You want to go first, Jeremy?
Sure. Why not? Yeah. I'll just say his first name. His name is John, and came in right out of high school, 18 years old, no experience in heavy highway construction, and he has worked his way up. He's now 21 years old. He's just been selected as a foreman in training, so either this year or beginning next year, he'll be a foreman. And for us, at 21 years old, that's a salaried position. That's a company vehicle. And, probably going to be making $75,000, $80,000 a year as a 21-year-old. And that's only the beginning for him. Because he has the big three. He's got the attitude, the work ethic, and that teachable spirit, man. Lights out. That's it.
21. Yeah, he's going to be buying us lunch today.
Yes.
Right. Daron, what about you?
I would say our entire field operations department, there's 3 people primarily, Bart, Corey, and Steven. They all transitioned from the field, got their apprenticeship done, got their journeyman license, and then after that they were able to get into whether it was being a superintendent over a job site. The field operations team is pretty much the bridge between the field employees and the office support staff, so now essentially they're calling all the shots. They're choosing who's hired next and where. So they're, again, like David Ziminatis, great examples of, if you stick to it, just how much endless opportunity there is within the trades.
It's a huge opportunity, and I think something that I'd like to hear both of your opinions on is that sometimes encouraging people to get into construction. It has been such a volatile roller coaster industry, especially in the residential side. How did your companies fare throughout the pandemic? Did you keep busy? Were there still hiring opportunities for folks?
I would say for us, there was a little bit of a slowdown for more of our kind of interiors and special projects division and some of our service technicians just because the office buildings weren't as busy. But we had to leverage a lot of technology, so a lot of obviously meetings that would have been in person, having to utilize the different platforms to create kind of hybrid meetings and make sure everyone's staying up to date, distancing people on the job sites, so not as many people in confined quarters, and that was really the main areas that I've seen the adjustments over the past year and a half.
That's not always so bad. Sometimes hanging out with a bunch of smelly contractors and give us a little bit more space to air out. Yeah. Well, what about you, Jeremy?
Well, just like the road is straight and steady, our work is straight and steady, and we didn't slow down. And so roads still needed to be built, bridges needed to be built, so we kept going. Along the way, there's of course some little bumps in the road when somebody would test positive, and then you'd have to quarantine X number of people and stuff like that. So that's really the only thing that really slowed us down. But yeah, we rocked and rolled.
That's impressive. That's really impressive too, for people to understand that it is a critical workforce and we were essential, and that there's still money to be made kind of any time. It is not going to slow down. Okay, before we end today, which I'm already sad, like, oh, tear, is there a piece of information that you two wish that people knew about this industry? There's something that we're missing. Anything you'd like to share? And Daron, I'll let you go first.
Alrighty. I think it just can't be understated that you're not limited to just being on a job site once you get within construction. Literally, our entire leadership team, the majority of them did start within the trades, but a lot of them got into virtual construction or project management, and now they're over their respective departments from engineering to healthcare to even accounting. I believe we've had some people that transition from construction into there.
Which I can imagine the difficulty of going from fractions on the job site to decimals in the office, but hooray math, it should be a language that we teach all the time. And that is a perfect transition too, to show that scope. And I love that information. Thank you very much. Jeremy, what about you?
I would say for what people need to know is there is a great career path for them in construction, in horizontal construction, and I stress the word career. Yes. It's not a job. A job is, you want cheese with that? Okay, this is a career. I mean, we have guys and gals that have worked for us 30 plus years, 40 plus years. One of our VPs is about to hit 51, 52 years, and he's not retiring anytime soon. It's like, whoa, because he loves what he does. And it's just a great career, and the construction industry is like a big family. And we've got each other's backs, and we understand that you're going to spend more time with your crew than probably your own family. So why not make it a pleasurable experience? Be a part of a team, be a part of a family that you believe in.
I love it too, because especially being a female on the job site, it is a family. I have a bunch of brothers, hopefully soon a bunch of sisters who are coming into the industry. The last thing that I'd love you both to share is your website and information again for people to find out information on internships or how to contact you both, because I want to crash the internet after this with so many people emailing and calling and going to the website. So Jeremy, if you wouldn't mind saying it again.
cwmatthews.com, and click employment opportunities, and bada bing, bada boom, it just lots of opportunities right there.
Click and go. All right.
Yep, and McKenneys.com, you'll see a tab that says we're hiring, and then directly for me, Daron.Allen@McKenneys. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Excellent. Oh, I love it. Gentlemen, thank you so much for sharing this information. It has been a treat and a half to be here in person with my fantastic friends, and really some great information, because we're seeing companies all across the U.S. offering these internship opportunities, but these two are top notch contractors that are national. And so I hope everyone in Georgia takes the opportunity to check this out. And again, if there are any questions or stuff you'd like more information on, please feel free to text Career Path to 31996. And then join us next week where we will be interviewing Jamie McMillan from Kick-Ass Constructions up in Canada. Let's see what our Canadian neighbors are up to. So thank you again for joining us for lunch. Gentlemen, thank you. Scott in the background, all of my amazing crew backstage as well. It's been a treat and a half, and have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.